There are poor people, people who are actually rich, and people who are fake rich. What exactly are the definitions of poor and rich? Poor means lacking sufficient money to live at a standard considered comfortable or normal in society. Rich, on the other hand, means having abundant possessions and especially material wealth. So where does the fake rich fit? Or how can you tell if someone is fake rich? There are many of them, and we know at least one fake rich person around us. The goal for everyone should be not to be fake rich, but to be actually rich. This is something that Mike knows very well. Mike is a business owner, and he's his own boss. He doesn't necessarily have to wake up early, but he does, so he can have more time available for him to dedicate himself doing what he loves. He also works out and reads about 30 pages daily. He treats his employees well because he knows life is not easy for everyone. Also, he always remembers the way he started his journey to become successful. He had a regular job just like most of the world's population. But the difference was that the only purpose for Mike to work was to put money aside. He went to save a considerable amount of money in 5 years of his working career. During this period of time, Mike was learning as much as he could. He was reading many books about the topic he was mostly interested in. When he believed himself to be ready, he decided to give it a try and started his own business with the money he'd been saving. Even though he was already an owner of a business, he didn't quit his job yet. He worked very hard, but Mike seemed to be out of luck. His business was eating his money, and he was not yet seeing any results. He understood that not quitting his job was a smart move. In this way, he could help his business with his salary. Mike was determined not to give up. He was working really hard. He woke up every day 4 hours before his job starting time. He also continued to work after he was back at home. He was analyzing his mistakes and making adjustments constantly. And soon after, he saw his first results. His business was gaining some profits. Still, Mike didn't quit his job. Instead, he was reinforcing his business by every dollar he earned. Soon after, his business became so profitable, Mike realized he could maintain himself with it. This was the moment he decided to quit his job. After that, Mike's life was changing for better day after day. He was reinvesting his money in other assets so he could create multiple sources of income. Eventually, his discipline and commitment paid out, and today, Mike is a wealthy person. He enjoys life, he has much free time, and can travel whenever he wants. Now, let's look at John's life. Unfortunately for him, he is financially unstable. John's an employee in a huge fast food company. His salary is not so bad, but he has many expenses to pay when he finally gets it. Also, he was not able to save any money yet. Mostly he blames others for this. He remembers his toxic relationship with his ex-girlfriend. Also, he remembers the money he lent to his friend, who is still not able to give it back. He also says that the rent he's paying is too high and it's impossible to do anything about it. He feels himself trapped in some kind of loop that is waiting for the paycheck, getting the paycheck, paying everything, and then again waiting for the new paycheck. John doesn't like this at all. He also doesn't like the place where he works. His boss is yelling at him all the time, "John, do this! John, do that!" His coworkers are not delicious either. There are moments when he would like to tell his boss that he's out, but then he remembers all the payments that await for him at the end of the month. All he can do is continue to work. But after he finishes and gets back to home, he forgets about it and tries to do something entertaining. He's got a few choices. First, he needs to eat, but after a long and stressful day of work, he really doesn't want to spend any more time on cooking. Also, he remembers that he didn't go to the grocery store lately. He decides to order something. A big, tasty burger with French fries and some soda. Oh, and don't forget the ketchup. He also orders another burger, a smaller one, just in case. Meanwhile, he starts to play his favorite video game. Now that John thinks about it, this is mostly how he spends his time. He wakes up just in time to prepare himself to go to work. Then he works 8 hours in a place he pretty much hates, and when he gets back home, he just eats and watches TV or plays video games. On weekends, he goes out with his friends and drinks some beer. Then from Monday on, everything starts all over again. John is doing nothing to change his life. He blames the government, the banks, and everyone else for his poor financial condition. He sees himself as a victim and does nothing to change his life for better. He complains all the time about why and how he is not rich. If you asked him about the contradictions, he wouldn't know what you were talking about. Oh, his food's been delivered. John eats his dinner and gets back to his video game. Then we have Kyle. Kyle is never unhappy. He always sees the glass half full. He also has a job, but his salary is higher than John's. Also, his boss is not that bad. Kyle goes to the gym because he loves to see himself with huge arms and biceps. Also, he doesn't skip leg day. His morning routine is very delicate. He takes care of his skin with different products. He cleans his face, puts on some protective cream. He also washes his teeth for about 4 minutes. He also enjoys his breakfast, carefully chosen, best quality food and fruit. After that, he's ready to put on his clothes. He puts on that expensive suit he bought last week. He puts on his $2,000 watch that looks so good on his wrist. Now he needs his shoes on. He's got plenty of them. Finally, he chooses his favorite pair and gets out of home. He gets in the car he's still paying for and drives to his workplace. Today, Kyle's boss has good news for him. He gets a promotion. His salary will increase by $1,000. A huge smile appears on Kyle's face. Life's good. That same day, he goes out to meet his friends. But his friends don't have such a good and satisfying life. But deep inside, Kyle likes that. That's why he goes there. All evening, Kyle talks about how great his day was, his new promotion, and also goes into the details by saying he earns $1,000 more now. Also, he tells his friends how he's going to buy another watch, maybe a new car also. But then he goes on full list and tells his friends about where he'll go on vacation. How much will the new suit cost him that he's going to buy, and all the other stuff that his friends also would like to have. They feel a bit of envy, but they try not to show it, and when Kyle offers a group selfie, they cannot say no and put fake smiles on their faces. But as the time passes, Kyle realizes that with his increasing salary, his debt is also increasing. He has too much to pay on his beautiful house, his brand new car, all his vacations, and his high-maintenance lifestyle. Also, he realizes that his debt is increasing faster than his salary. Even his paycheck is really high. He's scratching his head. How is it that so little money remains with him? He also fears another thing. If he loses his job by any means, he absolutely needs to find another job that pays the same or even more. If he stopped working in this second, he would be covered by the debt he owes. But slowly, the fear disappears as he remembers that he will not lose his job. He can also ask for some money from his parents in case. The debt? Well, that's just part of the game. If he wants to enjoy his cool car and have a $7,000 watch on his wrist, that's the price to pay. In this way, Kyle still goes to his friends and talks to them about every expensive item he owns. The moral of our stories is that those who are poor do not really try to make any changes. They just surrender and let the life be as it is. They have no idea how much they can change things if they actually put some work, motivation, and dedication. The discipline is the first step to quit a non-productive life and start changing things. Remember, it's never too late. As for the rich and the fake rich, well, those who are really rich focus on things that are completely different from what fake rich people prioritize. They don't show up. Instead of being a cause of envy, they try to help other people find success too. Being fake rich is not a long-term lifestyle. Eventually, it brings you to bankruptcy. You must always try to focus on positive things, build discipline, and work hard. This way, you can become the rich. Did you enjoy the video? Do you know fake rich people in your life? Tell us about your experience in the comments below. That's all for this video. If you found it helpful, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next one.